Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 22. You know the song by Taylor Swift? I'm feeling 22.
22.
Yes.
Ooh.
So today we have a pretty fun episode. We're going to be talking about makeup products, what we would save or splurge on. So we're going to go through the whole makeup routine and just talk about products and what to do, what not to do, etc. Um, do you want to do your three things first, Joe?
Yeah. This is kind of on the spot, so let me try my best. Uh, so there are these I think it's the brand One Fiber. It's these like little granola bars. It's 20 grams of protein for 90 calories, which is really good, like high protein food because um 1 gram of protein is supposed to be 10 calories. So if you have 10 grams of protein, you're supposed to only it's supposed to only have 100 calories, so like it evens out and you're not like over compensating on the calories and not getting
Hmm.
enough protein. So it's like the perfect amount, and I really love it. The second thing I would say is I really like my Baggu standard bags. I kind of want like the bigger size, but I'm gonna have to wait for that. But I carry my soccer balls in there. Two size 5 balls and one size 3 ball, and it fits all in there.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm like,
crazy.
I look ridiculous, but the fact that it can hold that much, I feel like, oh, it's very convenient.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and the third thing, mm, the third thing, my car. I've missed my baby. It was in the shop for like three
Oh,
days, and I had to drive my dad's truck, which I hate doing because it's really hard to park. It's
yeah.
really hard to drive in the lanes, especially because I drive in a Jetta, so it's like a big difference. Like I'm low to the ground, I can see like each side of the lane, and then when I
Hmm.
go to the truck, it's like it's high up, and like I cannot, like it looks like the truck is wider than the lanes, and I'm like, bro, I
Yes.
can't,
I
I
hate that
can't.
feeling.
Yeah, but what are your three things?
Oh geez. Every time I'm on the spot, I feel like I'm bad, but I feel a little well prepared today. So the first thing is the beach. Joe and I definitely talked about this too. Um, sometimes you just need to go see the ocean and the beach and just feel more calm, and it makes me happy. And I've always lived kind of near the coast, and now that I kind of live more in the States, whatever that term is, I don't live on a coastline, so it feels a little wrong and weird. So we had to drive like 6 hours, 5 hours for the nearest beach. So loving the beach. Went there last weekend. The second thing is I actually got this like Aritzia TNA is a brand sweatsuit, and it's like shorts and a sweatshirt. It's a little expensive, but I think it was worth it because I normally do buy like H&M or like Walmart Hanes, like that type of stuff for like sweatshirts and sweat shorts or whatever, but I like wanted something a little bit more elevated in like quality, and I feel like this was a good purchase. A little expensive. Don't think it's like fully worth it, but I love it. So, love that. And then my third thing, oh goodness. Oh, probably I think you said this last or 2 weeks ago was your iPad, and I feel very similar. Like it's perfect for school, and work and everything. I'm able to write notes digitally because at work I work in marketing and we also have a print shop, and there's so much papers, so much like things to file. So having my iPad for a lot of note taking comes in handy, and I have everything there digitally, and I can send it as a PDF or whatever, like to whoever needs it if I take notes on something, or I can send it to my phone so I can have it a few like cross platforms. So I recommend.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh man.
Sorry, I feel like I'm like speaking like so fast. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. I was just holding my breath for some reason, and I just realized it.
I was curious.
I was like,
No, that's funny.
anyways, yeah, good 6 things
Yeah.
combined. Um, so today we're gonna do, save or splurge on makeup products, and we're gonna go down the list. And here's the list really quick so you know what we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna start off with moisturizer, sunscreen, primer, foundation. We're gonna cover full to medium and light coverages. Then we're going to go into concealer, contour, bronzer, powder, eyebrow gel and tint, blush, lip liner, lip gloss, and setting spray. And lip
Yes.
gloss can also dive into like lipstick or lip balm.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, you know. And we'll give alternatives too if
Oh
we
yeah.
think it's not worth splurging on. So yeah,
But
tune in now.
beep.
Okay. So you want to go first on moisturizer? What's your favorite moisturizer?
Yeah, so I feel like this is a product that I use, and it's the Cetaphil like moisturizer. It's in the tub though. And at first I was like a little skeptical to get it because in the tub I feel like you're grabbing it instead of like something you can push it out of. But it's like a thicker moisturizer just because I like to use a thicker moisturizer like to lock in everything. And I personally really like it. I feel like it's something you should definitely splurge on, and I don't even feel like it's that expensive. But I feel like with moisturizer, you should definitely be cognizant of what you're putting on your skin and like what it's doing and what benefits, it has. So I recommend that one. I just like a super simple routine in the morning. I literally just put some water on my face, some toner on, sunscreen and moisturizer, and I'm good to go. What about
Perfect.
you?
So I've been using like its competitor, the CeraVe one,
Oh yeah.
like the white and blue bottle. I like it, but I feel like I have like combination skin, like more on the drier side. And I feel like this is more for like an oily skin type.
Mhm.
Just because when I use it, it's such a thin consistency. I love it because it really sinks into my skin, but also it doesn't give me enough moisture. Like around my nose, it'll start flaking, and like my unibrow area. And it's just, I think maybe I need to go to the Cetaphil brand. It
I was
might
gonna
be
say we should
richer
maybe
for
like
my skin.
not switch products literally, but for me, I feel like something with the Cetaphil is I like to feel it locked in, but I feel like it's too heavy because I have oily skin.
Yeah,
So I'm like, oh, like maybe I should try the CeraVe one for like a little bit lighter because I have a more combination but more oily side, and you're the
yeah.
opposite. So maybe you
You
would
might,
like the Cetaphil.
yeah. I used to use Cetaphil. I don't know. I don't really remember how it was for me though. I guess I never
Yeah,
paid attention. But
but
anyways,
good to
so
know.
swap and splurge.
Exactly. Splurge, but also go for like a drugstore brand. I don't think, unless you're into that, like higher end design, or not designer, but like expensive skincare brands, I don't think you need to. I'd say it's something you can get drugstore and get really good results out of.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, imagine like each or like each ounce you use of a product, like you're spending 5 cents,
Yeah,
something like 5 cents every time you put it on your. And imagine if it's like an expensive brand and it's only like 1 ounce, you're like spending like what, $5 per a
literally
quarter
per
of
pump.
your product. Yeah, like it's just ridiculous if you think about it. Like think about a vending machine like that has like Gatorades and Cokes or something, and then next to it has like candy bars and stuff, and like candy bars like $2. Like that's just ridiculous. Like you don't
Yeah,
you don't like spending money at a vending machine, but just think about it like that on your face.
exactly.
The next thing is sunscreen. My favorite sunscreen, and it's honestly drying, but I love it because it just sinks right into my skin and it doesn't feel oily. Because I do love a glowy look, but I don't like looking greasy, you know?
Yeah,
And I feel like it just doesn't work out for me. So I used to Skin Aqua. Yeah, that was my
definitely a good
favorite.
one.
Yeah, what about you?
I would say I'm a Beauty of Joseon sunscreen girl. I really do like
Oh.
it. I just love a lot of Asian skincare sunscreens, cheap, affordable, like so I'd say yeah, the Skin Aqua one is good. Instant Free, like all those brands, Beauty of Joseon. There's so many others out there. I feel like sunscreen is something that you need to apply on your face, neck regularly, and on your body as well, daily at least, or try to reapply every 2 hours if possible. I think it's definitely something you can save, no, not save, but like save money on. You don't have to buy super expensive ones, but it's something you should be doing to splurge on. So like definitely incorporate a sunscreen And I would say opt for just a sunscreen. Those like 2-in-1 products where it's like sunscreen and a like skin tint are nice, but you should also put on sunscreen. I feel like personally.
Yeah, and I think you should shoot for something that's at least SPF 50 and
Oh
more,
yeah.
just because it's gonna be like more effective in protecting your skin barrier from the UV rays. And why go for something lower when you can get something, better?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would splurge on
Yes.
both.
100%.
Now, I think the Skin Aqua one is like 11, 13-ish dollars on Amazon. And I think, what about the Beauty of Jizon? I forgot. It's like
Honestly, I feel
15.
like it varies kind of like on a lot of websites, but yeah, I think you can find it at least under $20. Like it's like 13, 11, 12, maybe
Yeah, in that
17.
range.
Yeah, something like that.
Um, I know on Amazon there's a seller that has it in a set of two for like
Yes.
$20. So if you are a repurchaser of Beauty of Joseon, then that might be a better bang for your buck.
Heck yeah.
So the next thing is primer. Now, um, I don't really use primer.
Yeah, I feel like this is something you could technically save on because a glowy base is important with like moisturizer, sunscreen, all of that, but I feel like that is acts as a primer in my opinion.
Yeah, here's another thing though. It's like chemistry basically, because you have some water-based foundations and then you have some oil-based foundations.
Yeah.
And then you have like sometimes people when they use primers, they have like a oil-based primer or a water-based primer or like their sunscreen, it's oil-based or silicone-based or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you want it to like layer on top smoothly, like in a blurring effect. And sometimes it just kind of like cakes up.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm scared of. Like, you do your whole base routine and you're looking glowy, and then you try to put on a foundation and then it gets cakey, and you're like, where did I go wrong? So you
Exactly.
gotta know like what works for you and try out different formulas
100%.
and kind of like set your routine. Like, of course, it's nice to like try out new makeup, so definitely do that.
Yeah.
But as far as like if you want a good base and like for a primer, I think a really good primer I've been using when I do like higher coverage, like a fuller slash medium coverage, I use the e.l.f. Powder Grip. It's
Yeah.
affordable. Definitely the Milk
Oop.
makeup dupe. Dupe.
Oop. Yeah.
I'm so behind on that like
It's so
trend.
funny though. Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
Yeah, it's affordable. But I don't think I'd rebuy it unless like I was doing like a full glam type
Yeah.
of like, and I don't even go out in full glam. So it's like more of like you do full coverage makeup or you're like a makeup artist and you really like the product. But
Heck
if
yeah.
you're like a user who does like more like minimal makeup, not like Hailey Bieber, like 2 dots of concealer, then you're done. I'm talking like you do your eyebrows, you have foundation on, but like
Yeah.
it's like more of a lighter look, just like natural, keeping
Mhm.
it simple, no eyeshadow, that kind of. I'm
I do.
rambling.
Yeah, I feel like it is an important step depending on what your routine is. So definitely like look in. I just think you can opt for more drugstore like Elf. That is a great option.
Yeah.
I actually use the Elf putty primer. I like to use it like on my pores. I do also, okay, something I splurged on was the Dior um primer, and I do like it. I'm mostly just using it up to get rid of it because I would like to just use like a different product, but I don't want to throw it away or anything. It's kind of like a silky, and I do like it because it does like it's not like gripping my makeup, I feel like, but it's like lays on top of my like sunscreen or moisturizer very well. And I do like minimal makeup on the weekdays because much like Joe, I'm always working or doing schoolwork, so I don't feel the need to do full glam. I wish, but sometimes I just don't like it and my skin doesn't like it. So I recommend just finding like a simple, maybe drugstore one that works. Cause I also have the Milk Hydro Grip primer, and honestly, I don't use it as often because I just find myself reaching for this putty primer. And I love it for just right under my eyes, on my nose, on my chin, just kind of those areas for pores. So yeah, I think you could definitely save on this, but still find alternatives. It doesn't have to be super high end or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
What is
the
next?
next thing is foundation.
Ooh.
And I have three
Are we
ish.
doing like high coverage or low coverage first?
We can go high coverage than low coverage.
But all right, so yeah, what do you have for a higher coverage foundation?
Just to preface, all the foundation I have is drugstore, and they're so good. So for higher coverage, um, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation is so good. It's $5, y'all,
Damn.
and the coverage is really good. It looks so flawless. Like I don't, and it's not cakey. It's really good. They have a good shade range. Actually, I don't know. I can't confirm that.
Most not
I picked the
totally
shade for
inclusive.
me. Yeah.
Got it.
But I do L'Oreal does have a really good selection for shade ranges, and
Yeah.
that's the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. I have two shades, so I got mine in neutral 4
What does it
and
look like?
cool 2.5. So here's what the bottle looks like. It has a pump now. Now they redesigned
Oh,
the
yeah.
packaging and they reformulated, well, the formula of the foundation. They added blue and green pigments for cooler tones and warmer tones, and
Cool.
darker tones and lighter tones. And so that's how their shade range has increased. And their claim is that 99% of women find their true match. I don't know if that's true, but you know,
That's
I
cool.
found my match. So I got a neutral tone for like when I'm like darker in the summer, and I
Yeah.
got the cool tone when I'm like lighter in the winter.
Cool.
So I really like those for full coverage. I would say that the True Match Foundation is more medium, but it's definitely buildable. And then the lighter coverage is also by L'Oreal. It's the True
Nice.
Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. It has 1% of hyaluronic acid, so it's moisturizing. And the shade range is very good. I like it, and it gives
That's
you a
good.
nice little glow.
A nice little glow for the day.
Yes, I hate the pump though. It's horrible.
I have heard a lot of people not like the pump.
Yeah, it's not even a pump. It's like a serum. What is this called?
A dropper?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's
I
very
hear it gets
messy.
messy.
Yes, I
So
don't like
maybe
it.
they need to work on that. But I hear the product is really good. And from your testimony as well, good to know. Might have to try it out.
What about you?
Okay, so I feel like I'm a little opposite. I have more higher end makeup products for face coverage, and I honestly feel like I want to get more into the drugstore game. But I have the House Labs foundation, which I do really, really like. I just feel like I don't find myself reaching for it often because I like to mostly just do like a skin concealer. But for those like more full coverage days, I like it because it feels skin like and it has a like it's confusing, but there's so like the shade range is incredible. So I feel like you can find it for no matter what. Like if you have like I don't know, cool tones, warm tones, if you have light skin, dark skin, whatever, and maybe it's just like it's I feel like it's very accommodating. So I really love Lady Gaga for that.
Right. I
But yeah, I don't know. I just don't find myself reaching for it as often, but it is a really good one. And then I also have the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I personally really do like this. I feel like it isn't like I mean it is fuller coverage. I kind of got it in a darker shade for when I was more tan, so I don't use it as much during the winter. Now that it's gearing up, maybe I'll find myself using it. Um I just feel like like you were saying, there are drugstore options out there that I could find probably better and for cheaper. So I just don't feel like these are fully worth the money because they are more expensive. So I think definitely this is something you could save on unless you're like a tried and true Dior or House Labs fan. I just feel like you could save and try L'Oreal or something. But pretty packaging, and I do like them. They're not bad products necessarily. I will probably use them until they're used up, but I will probably opt for cheaper next time. And then for my lighter coverage, I definitely am a skin tint girly, so I love Glossier skin tint. A lot of people say it doesn't do much for them, but I love the sheerness it gives me, and it kind of evens out some of my redness. So I use that almost every day. If like I don't use it every day, I'm using their concealer. Um, but the last two products I have for her face is the Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury, and I actually have the dupe, the Halo Glow Filter by e.l.f. And I will say, you can save your money on the Flawless Filter. Please do not buy it because this e.l.f. one is so much better in my opinion. I find it fits my pores a lot better. So I kind of regret buying this. I just saw it in my shade for the first time and it was available and I just splurged and bought it. But I will also use it because I don't want to waste the product at all. I do find myself mixing these two since I just am trying to use them up. But those are kind of like lighter coverage and do give you a nice glow under makeup, which is what I like. I like to be like kind of shinier, glowy, but not greasy. I always end up looking greasy though. But yeah, sorry, that's like a whole tangent. But I think you can definitely find drugstore. We love e.l.f., we love L'Oreal, and we love like NYX, all of them for face products, I feel like.
Absolutely. Now, if you're like really, really balling on a budget, ha ha ha, last week's episode. Anyways,
Eh,
Wet n Wild Photo Focus, that's $5.
it's
You
nice.
can't go wrong. So if
No,
you're
yeah,
trying to just find like a foundation, boom, right there. But that's more of a higher thing, so go light with it. Next is concealer. I have two concealers I recommend.
what are they? Let's hear.
The NARS, um, hmm,
Yes,
the pot concealer one. I love it for concealing my blemishes. I think it does a really good job of covering it.
I agree.
And it like I can cover my scabs, especially because I like to pick at my skin because I'm horrible. I think it's something you should have, and you definitely should splurge on it. I haven't found a product yet though that might be better than it. So
Good to
for
know.
like a fuller coverage look, I think if you're trying to really cover something up, this is really good. I got mine in the shade Toffee.
Nice. I also have that concealer because you also put me on, and I feel like it is probably the best, even for like lighter makeup days, like heavy
Yeah,
makeup, lighter makeup. You can put it on blemishes, and it hides it so well without like really making it worse. I feel like I find that a lot with concealers is you put makeup on it and it makes it worse. But this one, I feel like it's so perfect, and it doesn't accentuate the blemish. It just hides it, which is hard to find in concealer.
exactly. And the what do you call it? The trick to using this concealer is you need to get the color that is like basically the same color as your skin because you're
Yeah.
not trying to like highlight it or
Yes.
contour it. You want to blend it into your skin like as if it was flawless, you know.
Exactly. That's a
So
good little trick.
yeah, and if it's lighter, like I would recommend going into like a Sephora, Ulta, or whatever. I don't know who carries this. I got it
Sephora.
online, Sephora. And what I did is I used uh their
NARS
creamy.
Creamy Radiant Concealer or something.
Yes, that
Yeah.
one. And I tried the shade ranges because the names are exactly the same because they didn't have the pot concealers. And I remember asking one of the Ulta workers, and they're like, "No, we don't have that." I was like, "Why are you so mean?"
Oh.
Anyways, but like they were like, "No, we don't carry that." Like in such a condescending tone. I hate
You're like,
going
I'm
to
sorry.
Sephora and Ulta. Like, cause I walked in there with like a soccer jersey and like shorts, and like I didn't look my best. Okay, I wasn't
Girl,
wearing
but it's
makeup.
okay.
I did not look like a girl, basically. And
No, oh my
they treated
goodness.
me like I don't wear makeup or I don't know anything about makeup. And I'm like, bro, I just want to know if you
Aw.
carry this. Anyways, yeah, that's the trick. And I tried out the shade macadamia,
Oh yeah.
and it was a little bit too light, so then I went a shade darker, which was toffee. So
Cool.
that's how I figured out my shade.
Yeah. I my shade is a little darker than I would like, but it still blends well, especially since the summer's coming up and I feel like I'll get more tan. I have the shade Custard and I really like it. I definitely reach for that concealer a lot. Also, the Glossier Skin Tint, I like to pair both of those products together because I feel
Ooh.
like for the skin tint, I like to do it on top of like if I don't wear any like skin or if I don't wear skin tint, I like to use the stretch concealer. I feel like it's just light and sheer and it makes like I don't know, it just evens out my skin tone. As you can tell, I'm a huge Glossier whore. I love and I will stand for them whatever. So I feel like splurge on concealer. I feel like that really can make a makeup look come together.
I actually have one more concealer
Oh yeah,
recommendation, and
let's
it's on
hear.
the cheaper end. It's the NYX Bear With Me concealer, the serum.
Oh, I never.
This formula is
Oh, I
so
have seen
good.
that.
Like, I would say this consistency, it's a little bit lighter than the Glossier Stretch Concealer.
Yeah.
The coverage is a little bit higher too. So I feel like I think it's around $10. I
Hmm,
have it in the shade Golden and also light because it's kind of hard to tell the shade. Like the shade inside of the packaging is actually a
for
little bit
sure.
lighter than what it looks like in the bottle.
Hmm.
So I had to like figure it out with guessing games.
It's hard to test drugstore makeup, but the good thing is it's cheaper. But if you go to Sephora, Ulta, or whatever, and you can get a sample, I highly recommend because try out a sample of a higher end product first before you go into it. But I feel like with drugstore, it can be a little forgiving because even though, yes, you might find a shade that's too dark or too light, you can still use it for other things. Because, like, if you get a shade that's too light, use it for your under eyes. If you get a shade too dark, use it for like contouring or whatever.
Yeah. I will say it's a little too yellow on me, but when I like blended it out, it actually kind of
Worked.
it worked out.
Yeah. Hmm. Very
I
cool.
forgot what the word is, but like it kind of like basically adjusted to my skin tone, I guess. But I
Oh,
don't know
that's
if it
nice.
does that. Maybe I'm just crazy and I was in bad lighting.
Good to know.
But yeah, I would splurge on the NYX concealer and the NARS pot concealer.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a tried and true. I feel like you can find a shade for you no matter like what.
Yeah,
I have yet to
definitely.
try other pot concealers that I like better. Another concealer that I have, but I don't use that often, is the Dior one. I decided to be bougie and buy Dior makeup one day, but I think I got it too light because I was like lighter in the winter when I got it. I would say it's nice. It's not bad and it's cute, but I think you could save your money on this Dior concealer, but definitely splurge on the NARS. I also recommend Glossier if you're into more lighter makeup or whatnot.
Next is contour. I personally don't really contour. I'm more of a bronzer girl.
Same. I didn't even know there's a difference. Now that I know there's a difference, I'm like, whoa, but I never contoured my face before.
I feel like if it was like in the winter time, contouring makes more sense. Cause like, how would you have sun in the winter?
True.
Oh my gosh, side note, I think I just got a package.
Oh, nice.
Uh-oh. I'm so terrified. Anyways, like we were saying, cooler tones for contour, warmer tones for bronzer.
Hmm.
I really like bronzer, but I don't like too much. I think it makes me look really funny.
I agree. I like a little bit and kind of a minimal like look for it. Also, side note for all you guys, I think we're gonna make this into two parts. So we'll finish up with like some more of like a base makeup and then we'll go into other products, I think. Don't wouldn't you agree?
That's cool with me.
Cool.
So are we gonna end on contour or should we go into our bronzer?
Oh yeah, let's do like contour and bronzer, and I think we'll do all the other products we talked about next time.
All right. So there are actually two things that I've been using as bronzer. One is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. That one's like an old one that I've been loving, and I recently repurchased it because I remember it was a good one.
Yeah.
I will say for drugstore, it's kind of on the pricier side, like I think like 13, $15.
Mm,
The packaging is really cute though. It has
it
a
is.
mirror as well. But if you want a cheaper version, like the Physicians Formula one has like shimmer in it. It also has pore clogging ingredients, but I
Oof.
still wear it anyways. But a cheaper version, still drugstore, would be the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder. I got mine in the shade 360 Mocha,
Hmm.
and I've been using this as contour, or not contour, bronzer,
Good to know.
and I like it. It doesn't have shimmer in it like I was saying, but if I just want to kind of like
Sculpt.
emphasize my, yeah, like sculpt my face a little bit, it's nice.
Good to know. Yeah, I feel like I never really used contour bronzer just because I feel like I was late to the makeup game and I just didn't know really how to do it for my face. But I recently picked up, and this is the only like product I have for bronzer, is the Merit Bronzer Balm Stick, and I love it. I feel like it's so user friendly and it just gives me that perfect little like chisel that I'm looking for. It's creamy, easy to blend. I recommend. I have been wanting to try the Say bronzer thing. Like
Oh,
say, I don't know.
that is so expensive, but it has so much product.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, would you say splurge or save on the merit one?
Oh,
I
I
need
say
to know.
Splurge. Yeah, I
Okay.
love Merit. I am Glossier and Merit are probably my two favorite brands at the moment, and I feel like I just need to learn more about like better drugstore products. Cause every time I go, I feel like it's overwhelming to
Yeah,
like any makeup
definitely.
store. I feel like there's just so much there and I just don't know what works because I'm still trying to learn makeup and what works on my face. But I'd say Splurge. I really, 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 really like it. It's creamy, buildable, and it's a perfect little shade. I feel like depending on who you are and what you look for in makeup, it's gonna alter for every person. But I think a lot of people do love that like bronzed look. So I think if that's what you're going for and need something easy for this summer, I say pick up the Merit and try it out. I don't know if you can do a sample, but try a sample of it too. It's just so creamy and beautiful, and I love it. What about you?
Noted.
Save or
Bronzer?
splurge?
Oh, how much is it?
I
What's
think
the
it's like
price range?
$30.
$30. How much product is in it?
Let me look it up. I'm like,
As you can tell, like me and Mikyla are basically opposites. She's more in like the higher end, and I'm more in like the drugstore.
but I still love drugstore makeup. Like it's just hard because I feel like it's just overwhelming every time I go because I feel like there's just so
I mean,
much.
it's definitely
It's
nice to
okay, yeah,
have.
it's $30 and it is 0.44 ounces, but it's not, it's a stick, you know.
Mm, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ponder on that.
It is also like super buildable. It's natural. Let's see. I think their brand is vegan, cruelty free, and like something
Oh yeah,
else.
I heard their brand is very clean.
Yes.
And I think I don't know if I have the brand mixed up, but I think Merit is like European approved makeup, like because in the US there are a bunch of ingredients that are allowed to be in products for the consumers
I think it is. Yeah,
and
I think
that
it's
and that are
merit.
horrible for you, but in Europe like a lot of those things are illegal.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's also that.
Yes, I believe it is that brand, merit. So, yeah.
It's awesome.
Anyways, we definitely have a lot
Yeah.
of products. As you guys can tell, we're passionate about this stuff. And yeah, we'll do a part two next week for you guys so you can hear about more blushes, eyeshadow, eyebrows, setting spray, all that stuff. If you guys are excited for it,
Whoop, whoop.
yeah.
All right. That's a wrap.
All right,
See
see
y'all
you guys
next
next week.
week.
Bye.